I realize that cricket has given me many trophies, many memories, many friends, friendships across the world. But more importantly, it has taught me lessons that no classroom can ever teach me. It taught me the greatest contest is never against another team. It is always against ourselves, our minds. It also taught me one very important lesson. One of the beautiful truths about cricket is that every player, regardless of reputation, begins every innings at zero. A player who scored a century yesterday begins with a zero today. Likewise, the player who is dismissed for a zero yesterday again starts his innings with a zero today. Life offers us exactly the same opportunity. Each sunrise is a new beginning. Each day is a new beginning. The past may teach us, but it need not imprison us. Sri Sathya Sai Baba often reminded us that yesterday is beyond recovery. Tomorrow is uncertain. Today is precious. That is why it is called the present. So what cricket has taught me, it has stayed with me for my entire life, and it will remain with me for my entire life.
Sai Ram, and a warm welcome to you, sir, to the studios of Sri Sathya Sai Media Center.
Sai Ram.
We are coming from the Poorna Chandra Auditorium after your absolutely inspirational talk in the inaugural session of Summer Course in Indian Culture and Spirituality. And what a way to begin the summer course. People know you as a seasoned cricketer, but you did share about your spiritual journey too. And it was a lecture which had spirituality in action. So tell us about your spiritual journey, and then we'll talk about how you've been trying to live those values in your life.
I've always been spiritual. Like I mentioned it in my speech over there that something happened when I was 12 or 13 years old, and it all started from a dream. And here I am. I mean, I've always been a devotee of Shirdi Sai Baba since I was very small, and I think it's been brilliant. It's been very spiritual. Every season, before the start of the cricket season, it was in my heart and mind that I have to go to Shirdi and take the blessings of Sai Baba. And I've always been a spiritual person. I always believe in spirituality because that gives you a little bit of a recognition, and that defines you, what person you are. Yeah, I've played cricket. Now I'm a coach, but I'm also very spiritually connected. I still remember 14th August 1987. I came back from school and I was having a nap in the afternoon. And I think in my dream, there was a image of a person who was clothed in white, and he raised his hand and very compassionate. So I woke up startled, and I asked my mother that such a thing has happened. He had a glow, and completely white. I described it as a young boy, and she mentioned that it must have been Sai Baba. That's the first time I heard the name when I was 12. So I think since then the journey started, and I've always been a devotee ever since. And within 15 days of that dream, I ended up going to Shirdi somehow. I had not planned it. I went through somebody. Somebody was going to Shirdi, and I ended up getting into the car and going to Shirdi. I think it was that was the inner awakening which you always talk about, that you have to get spiritually connected. Since then, since 1987 till now, what it is, 2026 now, I think good 40 years have always been connected with Baba, some way or the other.
And I think that is what has given you that resilience, that strength to carry on through too many tumultuous ups and downs in your life, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, you can say that it gives me strength. But then sometimes, as a cricketer, you are always, you're bound to fail. There will be 75% of the time in your career, you will fail. It's what you do with the 25% left that is the most important thing. And I feel that that inner awakening or inner spirituality that gave me the strength to enjoy the 25% of my success in my career, to withstand or outlive that 75% of failure. So I guess being spiritually connected is very important, I feel, in today's day and age, even more.
And I guess you also would have, in your life, very palpably felt his unseen hand guiding you, his unseen hand protecting you. I mean, there are times when you really are down. And there are times when suddenly something happens which you know that it's not in the normal course of things. I'm sure you would have had many such moments.
Yeah, I mean, there are moments in life where you feel that you're blessed. I had no idea that I would be the head coach of the Indian women's team. For good 35 years, 40 years I've been associated with the sport. Good 35 years I've been involved with the men's side of things. 20 years of playing and then 10 years of coaching in the Rajasthan Royals or South Africa. I went on to do a bit of a stint with Holland as well, Netherlands. I was always involved with the men's side of things. I never had a clue that I will wear that India jersey being the head coach of the Indian women's team. But it just somehow happened. And I feel I'm truly blessed with that.
That is one of the lessons of life. Many times things may not go to our expectations, but he is planning our life and he is the master planner.
I mean, if you look at it, the 35 years what I spoke about, I only dreamt of playing for India. It never happened. I played 20 years of first class cricket, scored a lot of runs, but it never happened. At the end of the day, I had parked that thought in my mind somewhere that chalo nahi hua to nahi hua, abhi kya kare. I have to look into the future. You got to have the correct right attitude towards your life and move on. But I just didn't know that this will happen. And then I wore the India jersey in a different role. I mean, it's been very satisfying. And plus, it is very heartening, and I am full of gratitude because of that.
I mean, I think you would have never ever thought that
No, I didn't.
after 30, 40 years, you will see a day like this when you would have expected to see something like this maybe 20 years ago.
As I said in the speech, that all you have to do is just keep doing your job as honestly, as passionately as you can, and eventually he will take care of itself. He will take care of you. I went onto the ground. At least in my mind, I'm really clear and very happy that whenever I stepped onto the ground, I've been honest and I've been absolutely truthful to the game. And I've worked hard. Simple as that. My father always used to say that, "Kaam karte rehna, Amol." So that is the message. Keep doing your work. As simple as that.
And as you also very powerfully mentioned, Bhagavad Gita says exactly the same.
Yeah.
That just keep doing your work sincerely. What Swami used to refer to the Bhagavad Gita, and Swami would join the first and the last word of Bhagavad Gita, and Swami would say it forms the phrase Mama Dharma, because Bhagavad Gita starts with Dharma Kshetre, Dharma, and it ends with Mama. Swami would join these two words and say the essence of Bhagavad Gita is Mama Dharma, my duty. Just do your duty. And that's what you mentioned today. And that's what you did. You just did whatever
Yeah.
you're supposed to do. And you did it passionately, you did it devotedly.
Yeah.
And as you said, forget the results.
Yeah, I mean, results are the outcome of it. No? I believe that you should be driven with the
Yes.
results.
Correct.
You should be driven for the results.
Correct.
Because ultimately you're doing
Yes,
something.
yes.
You're doing something for the results. But the process in between, what happens is just keep doing your work. Honestly, keep working hard. Give your 100% all the time, and that one thing cannot change in my life. That the 20 years that I played in first class cricket, I gave my all. Whether I was playing in front of 100,000 people or no people in the stadium, the passion and the effort remain the same.
And I think what you also mentioned in the end was very touching, because you said at the end of the day, when we look at the scoreboard of our lives, it's not the runs that matter, it is how many lives we have touched. And I think
Yes.
you, as a coach, Swami gave you the opportunity, Baba gave you that opportunity to groom and touch so many youngsters.
Yeah.
I think you have done yeoman service, and it has given you tremendous satisfaction to see somebody blossoming with Baba's grace and your guidance, isn't it?
With the blessings of Swami, and I personally feel anything is possible, and it is my duty to just keep doing the work that I'm doing at the moment.
I have always felt that His presence has quietly accompanied me. I do not claim to understand the mysteries of grace, but I have learned that faith often begins not with answers, but with an experience that awakens something within us. Perhaps that is what inner awakening truly is. It is not always dramatic. It does not always arrive through great miracles. Sometimes it begins with a single moment that gently opens the heart and changes the direction of one's life. Looking back over nearly 4 decades, I realized that resilience gave me the strength to continue my journey, but faith gave me that journey its meaning. And for that, I would remain eternally grateful.
And so they say that with little faith, you can go to heaven, but when you have great faith, heaven itself will come to you. And I think your life is a testimony to that. When we think about the way the World Cup was lifted on November 2nd, whenever you think of that day, World Cup got lifted, what else got lifted?
Very hard to describe, but my wife was watching in the stadium, and she mentioned this, that she felt as if a mountain moved in my life. There was a massive mountain that I could not reach, and it just moved away, and she felt it. She explained it to me about it, but on 2nd November, I think it will be etched in my life as one of the most memorable days. Second most memorable day. First being when my daughter was born. So I think it's a very significant day in my life, for sure.
And on that day also, you felt the presence of God in so many ways, isn't it?
When we are on the ground, not many times you're connected to the game, so you're involved in the game. Your full focus is, your heart and soul is in that game. But I always feel that somewhere Swami, Baba are always watching my move, and I feel connected. I really feel connected, and that's what you can call it as spirituality. One thing which I really try and maintain it is that, am I being honest in whatever decision I'm taking? We have to take some hard calls sometimes, and in those calls, the only question that I ask myself is, am I being honest? Are you being honest about it? And if the answer is yes, that's it. So, in tougher times, in good times also, you feel that you've been watched, and you're connected to to them all the time.
And you were also mentioning how on that day it was raining, and
It
just
was,
at the nick of time it stopped.
yeah, it did rain quite heavily. It put me in a very difficult position to take calls, take decisions, because on that day you had to take some tough calls because there was a lot of rain involved. It was raining. It wasn't raining just, there was not a drizzle. It was raining. And when it rains in Mumbai, it rains very heavily. It altered the timings of the match. The match was supposed to start at 3, but it started at 5. If it would have gone beyond 5, every minute the overs would be lost. So it made it more difficult. Also, win the toss, whether to bat first, whether to bat second. All those decisions look simpler in hindsight, but when you're actually there, because it was being the World Cup final, you couldn't take a wrong call, a call which you shouldn't be regretting it later on. So all those things were running in my mind, but it just somehow the game started at 5 o'clock sharp, and it ended at midnight when Harmanpreet Kaur took that catch at extra cover. It was 12. It was 0-0-0-0, and I think it started to rain again afterwards. When I was walking back, we had a short walk from the ground to the hotel. When I was walking back to the hotel, I think, and I felt at that time that he was there, he was present.
I think so many times in our life, while we think that, yeah, we have made our preparations, we have tried to control a few things, but there is someone who is working behind the scenes, controlling so many things which are beyond us.
As I said, you can prepare yourself, you can plan whatever you want, but the results are not always what you want. There is always someone else who's writing the script. So just leave it to him, and you can stay happy.
Cricket has given you so much in terms of these lessons, so in terms of being humble, in terms of being able to take the situations of life without getting disturbed.
I mean, if it wasn't for cricket, I wouldn't be sitting here in this chair. Simple as that. Such a great game. I keep saying it's the mother of all sports because it will teach you a lot of things. When you fail quite a lot, it's an addictive sport. As I said, you'll fail 75% of the time, but 25% wo jo high dega, and that high, you will crave for that high for your entire life. Cricket has given me everything. Cricket has been my be all and end all.
And very interestingly, in 1997, we had an international cricket match in Puttaparthi, one of the games where we had a really India 11 versus World 11 matches, and we have a stadium here, and Bhagwan was physically there. And in fact, on one of those occasions, Swami mentioned how all the three stumps are our physical self, mental self, and our spiritual self. And the bat is the mind, and all the balls that come to us are the situations, and how we deal with them is what our life is all about. And you were mentioning today, because in the end, when someone asked about what distinguishes a consistent player, you said it's all about what you're doing with your mind.
Absolutely. How clear are you in your mind? The more clear, the better you are dealing with situations. No matter what the situation is, you need to find a way. You got to find a way. Solutions are there. There is no problem in the world, or there is no situation in this world, I personally feel, that you cannot find a way out. You have to find a way out. Maybe, you'll have to rack your brains quite a lot, and you got to be clear in your thoughts. And I think the great players are calmer in their minds, so that their thoughts are clear.
And being spiritual helps to maintain your equanimity, maintain that state of mind? As you mentioned, batting will become a meditation. It becomes a meditation, isn't it?
Yeah, batting was my meditation. Before I knew I was doing it. But I batted for a long period of time. When you bat long period of time, you know exactly when to switch on and switch off. But it happened unknowingly. When I was batting, it happened because you played for say if you're batting and playing for 9 hours or 8 hours. I've even batted for 10 hours.
Oh my God.
So when you're batting, you know exactly when to focus, what to do. But it happened very organically, I felt. And it was a deep meditation that I did while I was batting. I never knew. I just know it now when I'm grown older.
How does it feel coming to Prasanthi Nilayam, coming to Puttaparthi?
It's
You
always
came for the 100th birthday celebrations of Bhagwan,
Yes.
and you're back again.
It's always nice. It's always superb. It just gives you a tranquility, that is there in this place. It's just unbelievable. You just feel grounded. You just feel stable when you come here, and peace that happens here. I think it is brilliant. So there's a love coming here, spending time.
So how was the 100th birthday? You had the opportunity to be here for Baba's 100th birthday.
Yeah, it was huge. It was enormous, I think. I knew it was a big one, but I didn't expect those many people, here. It was phenomenal. And the manner in which it was conducted and manner in which it was all smoothly done. I think it wasn't, probably it wasn't us who were doing it. We were just mere mortals, just helping hands. But it was just done by the Almighty, I think.
And this morning, we witnessed the culmination of the run and ride. After 120,000 people had to run in 46 cities, and finally they are converging in Prasanthi Nilayam. How was that morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. at the Hillview Stadium?
It was good. I wasn't that much for the run, but surely for the ride. I rode my cycle. I had my 5 kilometer cycle done this morning. It was fun. It was good fun. Again, I didn't expect so many people turning up at the stadium. I had expected about say 1,000 people, 2,000 people might be there. I did not expect more than 10,000. And it's amazing that just a little drive of run and ride can invoke so many emotions and so many people turning up. There were the age group was from 8, 9 to around 75, 80, even beyond that. So I guess that's the power of unity. And I was really surprised. And the fact that I didn't leave the invitation of riding that bike, it just gave me a little bit of satisfaction that I went back to my childhood, actually.
And when you think about it, there is no commerce involved in any of these events done by the Sathya organized. People have come voluntarily. They are running, and in fact, they come voluntarily, and they were given gifts as they finish their run. They're given medals. They're given gifts, and it's organized again by volunteers, by the youth of the organization. And the same thing happened for that Sri Sathya Sai Unity Cup, where you had nearly 800 teams, they're playing more than 860 matches in all over India. So when you think about this movement, the Sathya Sai movement, what occurs to you?
It's not a normal thing to happen. Hats off to all the organizers, hats off to all the helpers, hats off to all the people who are involved in this drive. It requires a phenomenal effort and phenomenal clarity to pull these kind of events off time and again. Plus the divine blessings of Swami is always there. I was pretty surprised, I should say, with the run and ride because so many people turned up. But I was very happy When back after that event, I went back happy, smiling.
So your journey started with Shirdi Sai coming to you, and slowly Satya Sai also has come into your life. And now, in so many ways, you are part of the Satya Sai events. So, how do you see Satya Sai and how do you see Shirdi Sai?
I don't see any difference.
So, you continue to feel that connect with whatever
Absolutely.
Sai it is.
Absolutely.
And you said that you always carry the vibhuti with you.
Yeah, I do. Wherever I go, it just gives me a little bit of a boost, or the strength to withstand or take correct decisions in my job. Just to take the correct decisions. So I always carry it with me.
So do you also mention about these lessons that spirituality can give you when you coach, when you are dealing with the youngsters, be it the men or the women now, of whom you are the coach?
Also, what it spirituality, what it also does is that it just mellows you down a little bit. Just the humility part, and coaching is also about being empathetic towards others, and put yourself in that person's shoes and see from where he or she is talking. So I feel that I'm more empathetic now than when I was as a player. It keeps me grounded as well. Spirituality, it's very important.
And sometimes very difficult decisions to take. Somebody is really working hard, as much as somebody longs to be part of that team, like it is his or her life, and he or she's trying to do everything, but somehow it's not happening. And you also wish that the person becomes part of the team, but it's not happening for whatever reason. And you don't want that the person has a heartbreak, but at the same time that person is unable to reach where that person wants to reach. I'm sure you must be having so many situations like this.
Yeah, there is. I have to take a pragmatic call. I cannot be emotional all the time. Where you have to be emotional, you got to be. Where you don't have to be, just have to be very straightforward. That comes from where I come from. Actually, I've been very honest with the work that I've done. So not every time you got to be emotional, but also it is important to be connected with that particular individual, and if he or she is going through a tough time, stay with them as much as possible. But at the end of the day, it is their course or their journey.
But I think as your own life is a textbook for all those people, who have really toiled hard and who are sincerely toiling hard. And as you today very nicely mentioned, from 2002, if you kept playing for another 10 years, it was just because you just felt that if this is what gives me happiness, I just do.
Yeah, I mean, I answered two simple questions to myself, and the answer was very very clear and simple. You score runs, and you play the game that you love. So it didn't matter where I played after that. I parked those thoughts of India colors and I want to wear the India cap and all those things went aside, parked those thoughts in my mind, and then I moved on to simpler things of scoring runs and enjoying the game again. So I guess it was another 10 years that I played since then.
And the India jersey came in its own time.
Yeah, I mean that.
And in its own glorious way.
Yeah, I mean I never knew that it would come in this way.
So what are you taking from Prasanthi, from this visit, back with you?
Run and ride. And the interaction with the young ones. I love just sharing my thoughts and my experiences to the younger ones, so that they even if they can take something out of it,
Yes.
would be great. So yeah, these are the things I would take. The 5 kilometer cycle ride in Puttaparthi,
Yes.
and the I don't know how many minutes I spoke, but whatever I spoke in the auditorium with the young ones.
And the trivia that you mentioned was also very interesting, that the Women's World Cup actually happened before the first Men's World Cup happened in 1975.
Not many people know.
Not many people know about it.
Yep, so yeah, the women's thought about the World Cup before the men's.
In
They're
fact,
always ahead. Huh?
they always said. No, in fact, even the college that Baba started, he started first the women's college in 1968,
Okay.
and then the men's college came in 1969. But none of these are events which are random. I think, as Albert Einstein said, you can look at everything as a miracle or nothing as a miracle.
True.
So we're really happy that you could come to the studios. I know it's been a long day, and after that inspiring talk, now having your words of wisdom in the studios. Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure. Pleasure.